Welcome to Space Fleet. News. Currently a Space Fleet Underground faculty. The faculty being for Space Fleet Academy University. University. Universitai. How often do we speak? The idea is coming up to put onto camera in these preliminary trials, these preliminary runs, these simulations for the future Space Fleet HQ. Where to put the reality of this face, where to bring this face in the world, in the universe, where on the story we ourselves bring him to. Because apparently I can sit in this room for the rest of my life, particularly if I can get food to myself and to not bother other people. Other than those ideas, it involves other people to have me be anywhere else anyway, which is interesting. There's a layer of existential thought, confidence. Some is not as confident as others, of truth and reality. Hold up my neck while I'm sitting here speaking into the camera. Again, the main mission in Space Fleet is to get rid of those folds on people's foreheads. Apparently they're worry lines, which means people are worrying about something that we can probably get to stop. And somewhere in someone's theology, somewhere, that is what beast marks are. You can't trust that one. The one that's there. And notice the stiff eyes, where he's almost a robot. Well, I'm not. The one speaking, Nathaniel or something, I don't know who is who exactly. I'm not apparently conscious that my prefrontal cortex doesn't even exist or explain itself as I or Nathaniel. But it is still there physically, ninth dimensionally, as the natural body, even if I myself am not alive in those parts of my body, creating worry lines because Christ doesn't exist, which seems to be most people on the planet. And I'm pretty sure Jesus Christ had enough attributable traits to continue to be the Antichrist, as apparently that on my forehead implies one is. So it is the goal to stop that, because apparently it's the only thing causing any problems in our universe, anyone's universe. Nathaniel's eyes are not looking at the camera. Apparently the only one speaking is speaking. We're using the inside universe, where I'm speaking all balancedly. In the third eye, well, my third dimensional eyes are just staring forward because I've gotten used to peripheral vision. I don't really know where I'm staring at. I'm trying to have my body be my focus, right? I'm sorry, I didn't say that to other people until I said it to myself. Don't necessarily know who or what my audience is, so that my brain doesn't have a particular place, the way that they blink and the timing of the blink and what it is about the existence when the eyes blink. Off, on, off, on, off, on, off. Computers? Programming code? Telephone. There's a wire on this one. It's not a wireless collar. My brain is hardwired to the universe, so we can all hear each other in time and space. What are computers? Why is there a camera in front of my face? And is the camera only the prefrontal cortex, teaching itself what it really is? I can move. Coordinates? It's like a governmental faculty. The computer itself, the existence of the government itself, up in the 6th dimension, rather than the 3-dimensional governments that cannot keep up with, I don't know, everyday life. We can have people on routine, on patrol, but they don't have time to be in your own home. So we're supposed to be our own police force? Somewhere in there, we gotta police the government, or, you know, everyone, checks and balances and blah 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 blah. Somewhere in there, Nathaniel's not prepared to speak on those topics exactly. Like, wait. There's more to say than I think I have time for in these timings of the things that it is that I am speaking. Intended speech versus actual speech that comes out. Like, it went, like a Donald Duck kind of voice. I sort of did the part, and then the part just kind of came out of imbalances or rebalancing as Jesus Christ, as the balance, the way, the Tao. Corrects itself. You had to go use an imbalance formation. Spots. And my brain is like a spacecraft. I wanted to speak that up earlier and put in, but it was trying to work. These aren't outlined. I just have thoughts on my mind with structure and order for general speech and everyday life usages, like storytelling. Brain is an odd place to exist. I feel like my lower body isn't real. Like my eyes are secondary. The ego person. Hey, ego. Come on, pay attention. He's noticing a little, not really. Come on. Someone's trying to convince Nathaniel that he's everyone. You're not talking to me. I'm not the one to be talked to. So I can see an expression of it. Oh, he sort of looked at the camera. The brain is like a spacecraft. It is piloting the body. Or is the ship that controls the rest of it? Try to move around the neck. Not enough visualized space in those areas. It's all dry and such, not enough water element. People not believing in those things, no education early in life. Teaching myself and preparing things. No. Maybe? You want to be on the news?
Sure.
Alright, here comes Kyle Brennan. He has some kind of formal role in Space Fleet, underground or whatnot. That must have been his reptile, his hindbrain person coming in for the first time in the root chakra.
There you go. That works. You're so handsome this afternoon. Hello, it's good to meet you.
Me or you? Was that to you?
No, I'm talking to your audience.
Or who's the audience? I don't know who they are.
Whoever watches this video.
And how am I supposed to speak to them if we do not know their identities?
Bro, what's up, dude?
Alright, so
today, I had so much gas, it turns out avocados make me fart. Like that.
Alright, so I can talk to iChrist. That makes sense. How are you, iChrist? You doing good? Hi, how are you? Small talk, things that introverted people are not very good at.
I love you, sir. You're very correct. That is all of us as a whole.
I figure.
I accidentally step on that, although I probably would.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Oh, thank you, sir.
was talking to the space brain as a spacecraft. Now, I don't know how to get a picture of the camera on itself. How am I supposed to? How do I point the camera at itself?
Technically,
I need to get a different camera, huh?
at that screen, technically.
I tried doing that just now, but that didn't make sense because now it's seeing into itself into the thing. So it's itself. It's not a mirror. I can go to a mirror. A mirror would work. The camera, I thought the same thing, but it's not a mirror. You're like, wait a minute. I don't have a mirror at hand, at least within the cord's length. But I enjoy this handheld Microsoft Life Cam, I think they called it. My grandfather, Aubrey Burroughs Sloan, purchased for himself. It is in a 720 quality range, though frame rate I think is low at that quality. I have no idea what quality we're at the moment. I'm letting it just do its own little thing with its WebM extension. I don't know how to get the file size too reasonable. I'm like, I don't think it needs to be 500 megabytes for 30 minutes. I would like minimally 100 megabytes. I think 50 megabytes ought to be normal. I'm not sure what it is that I'm doing or the computer's doing, and how the lowest quality setting is not enough. But I like this camera. It's a little spacecraft.
Yeah, I like your camera too. Like, I'm kind of jealous of your camera. It's a very nice, sturdy, stable system. And then its standing pad's pretty nice too. But like, frame rate's a little slow.
Yeah, and I'm not worried about it at the moment because eventually I get to a point where we can have a more apropos camera to make more professional, more career-oriented videos. I mean, that's still where I am, but I don't know. I like that the sound stays consistent, and the rest of it's just a visual effect. The low frame rates and things. But I gotta move this camera around like it's a little spacecraft. I mean, technically it's moving around through space. In my hand is its engine. I can only warp time and space around itself so that it can move up and down. I think this was named ThanOS quarters. I am the ThanOS.
Okay.
I think the room looks nice. It took me a while to put together, spiritually and physically and metaphysically. I don't know. What's nice about this camera thing is it gives me an excuse to speak on something instead of it just being random and going into the ether with no one ever hearing or experiencing it again.
What shall we discuss?
Who hasn't sat there and said, "Oh, I would have been on camera"? Make a career of those moments. What do we want to talk about?
Yeah, you said we're on news. What are we going to talk about?
What are we wanting to talk about? Where is the universe going? I'm in a spacecraft. I pilot it. I run it. There is a building around me that forms its existence as a spacecraft and life and whatnot. Personally, I'm heading towards plotting out the routes and such, like an actual spacecraft for the human Nathaniel thing, or whatever, to get from point A to point B.
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah, and with you around all the time, I don't know, you're another spacecraft. I don't know how far it is that my personal center of existence can positively benefit your life and whatnot. I don't know, somewhere in there I'm hoping to play this stupid spacecraft game with yours in mind, and then whatever it is that you leave with hopefully is very beneficial to your life and will help me continue to build the things that I'm building if there is no way for your company and my company, terms and conditions apply on that word. Come, Panny. I hope you're strong. Maybe we're trying to say, "Hey, Pan God, come on, I got you covered." And he goes, kills him because he's like a trickster god. I'm really strong enough to defeat that trickster god because I'm a company and I can take that on. And we're a place for people with poor cores, corporations, corpores. and they bring it all together to make one big, not so poor core. I don't know. Maybe not in the news. That we'd be able to go and start playing. For the camera's sake, as this is mildly in his ears, went back to old Bitcoin thoughts, because it's a cool idea. Pennies to pay children with value from their own mining efforts, or other people's mining efforts, micro wallets and things, and how that works. It'd be nice if we could, if that was more exchangeable instead of needing to wait a huge chunk of time to receive your meaningless amount of numbers. Almost meaningless amount of numbers, this meaning. I don't know, somewhere in there, and how to exchange rates and things. Computer creation ideas, how to network ideas and thoughts, which is almost entirely a brain network thing. Mapping and such. To map together, to plot our courses through life, and say, and then yell engage, because I don't know, wives in the future. Are we trying to find, write a wife to engage toward? Plot a course? There's whether you're a male or woman, there's a man right here and a man right there, and then you create a woman over there that you engage, and then one day you're a man and man together as man and woman. No, does that make sense? What are you engaging towards? What's Cap Picard? Engaging towards? Why, that's a marriage term, dude. Somewhere in there, we're for the world domination, or at least America, or yeah, the plan is to get married to everyone, have everyone get married to everyone, otherwise you are not required to have a social security card. I'm not married. Alright, we'll just have you on the books as ours anyway. Using the metaphor of marriage in countries, rather than business or just unity to create union. It's like, I don't know, some kind of lack of commitment to each other across the continents of the world. And what was the other one? The other campaign direction. Not important. It'll be important whenever it comes up. Kyle's presence changes the flow of thought.
No, your context is correct, though. Part of it is right, but I'm not aiming towards a basis in life that is stereotypical. I'm aiming towards
existences in general. Pursuit of existences in general?
because cupcakes and pizza are delicious.
Alright, that was your facial expression showing confusion and disregard for the sensicalness of your last statement. I have a story going on in the back of my mind, brain, or front of my face, and there's stories going on for other people. I don't necessarily know what they all are. Human lives have stories, or at least stories that can be told, although I hear truth is stranger than fiction, and non-fiction is a fictionalization of real life. And minimally, we miss all the parts, because I'm like, oh, fiction is just as real as non-fiction. I don't think people understand what I mean by that. No time to explain. No teachers or authorities around to care. Oh no! So in a sense, authority creation. I'm trying to get everyone their own kingdom. They get to manage in their own homes, in their own rooms, on their own, completely alone, and devoid of any other external help. Why? Technically, we're not external though. But that's not the point. Facilitating democracy, quote unquote, along a tyrannical democracy? Is that allowed? Can we have tyranny and democracy at the same time? I thought of a concept where it works. It's a monarchy, but the king is a button pusher. Let me change that. The king is just a family. And his only role is, like the king, I think the England people kind of do that now, where they're just kind of face people and they have the proletariat or whatever. But instead we have kingdoms on the internet, like Imagination Network from Sierra. Little adventure kingdoms and maps like Disneyland. I phrased my thoughts earlier as the intent is to create a Disneyland. Like it's a library. That's interesting. Just watching videos.
Yeah, so this glue two globs of glass, parallel lines, spiraled it together, and I think he's pouring it into a vase, just making it into one single chain.
It looked like a little cobra snake, a little way that's too bright for the screen. How's he getting that pattern along the way?
He's spinning it.
But it's turned into like rivets? Where'd the rivets come from? Is it just happening?
They're spiral lines, they're crossing in a way that you're seeing rivets. There's no rivets.
I don't know what the word is. There's a texture to it. I don't know what the word texture is.
So I'm pretty impressed with how far the damn thing's going in the first place.
I'm not sure what it is.
So they did rods, one sheet of glass on top, one sheet of glass on bottom, rolled it all together and then spiraled it. Crossing with the rods, crossing with each other.
Yeah. So, I think there's plans on the table. Stories about good and evil. Protagonist versus antagonist. Every up and down of every day. Some balance between where it bothered to exist at all. Sitting, standing, proliferating, contemplating, creating understanding. A long journey that I'm planning. Mostly quote unquote in the imagination. I don't know where people go when they read books, particularly when they take those books out of the real world. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. Beginning to the end. Or the end. Or the middle. Up, gets things to work. 0 divided by 0 is 1 and or 0. keep happening throughout all human history. They just didn't know yet. They hadn't learned. It wasn't time to learn yet. When did you guys need to learn the internet? After we had the tools to even contemplate its existence? Law versus God. The law is the slow version of God. God's just always there going, it's alright, children, you can learn. Almost disrespectful. Maybe that's just playing the face because God's not supposed to be disrespected, even though I hear he's a disrespecter of persons. And legal persons, God disrespects apparently, telling you a 666, taking your social security card like a beast. Huh? Well, you were a baby, you shouldn't have done that. You should have been born in the middle of your life where you didn't have to take a social security card. But, huh? Must be a different topic for a different time. Upstairs, where things are not the same. I don't know. We're warming up the brains. Liquidating thought. It exists. It always exists somewhere. The rainbow. There's a pot of gold. Coatie. Then you fill in the potholes. The plot holes? Space fleet's endeavor to fill in the plot holes. Both the ones that keep our brains from understanding what's going on in reality, the world, and everything. One's own life, one's family's lives, one's world and existences, God, spirit, mind, body, everywhere. And also the plot holes that seem to keep potholes in our roads. Somehow the money and the work labor is not getting where it needs to go if potholes are happening. Are roads just a big waste of our time and money? Or do we just need to find a way to do that without making us all feel like assholes for even needing to give taxes to pay for roads? Stop taxing. Like at all.
Sorry, I lost track of where the hell we were.
We're going everywhere, filling in plot holes. Notice how he had a plot hole in that thought. Was it the pot's fault, or did it just turn his brain into a telephone? Where he can talk to people across time and space,
No,
from book to book to book.
Things kind of confused me.
They pay for pothole filling in the roads with tax money? You'd think every dime of car registration and gas taxes and such would all completely go to roads or any maintenance of its own system. Like, put your profits into the company and stop transferring it and helping other people outside of your company when your own company is not being taken care of by itself. The company of roads and cars and communication between those networks. This is a 30-minute feature because that's just where it is. I seem to have only 20 seconds left now. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your time. A bit of a distraction. I'll be around later. I'll get this boat flying. Wherever flying means. Urgh.